so we can be official. And then I'll go share my screen. Let's see. Where's my, oop, oh, it's down here. All right, slideshow. Uh-oh. Where am I at? Slideshow. Oh, there. From beginning. Yee! We're in. Okay. Fast track to success. Here we are. Sharing the opportunity chat. Yay! One of my favorite things is actually talking to people. We can inform them, we can invite them, we can host coach them, but then we gotta just pick up the phone and call them, right? As we were having our little discussion. So we're going to follow up. Oh, come on. Why isn't my? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, who has had success in talking about the opportunity over the past week? Anybody had some say? Oh, look at Christy with her hand up over there. Let's see. Share what worked for you and your results.
Well, I don't know if it really works. Actually, I've been talking to 4 different people this month. It seems like with the holidays, it sparks more interest. I just touched base with people I haven't talked to in a while, and one of them was selling a bunch of stuff this week because they said, you know, they really wanted to sign up weeks ago, but the issue is money. They just didn't have the money for the kit. And so I said, well, what do you have to sell? Have a garage sale, do something. And they actually listened. And this week they were selling a bunch of their inventory from their Mary Kay that the wife had. And so I know that she had some money come in now from that. So I'm hoping that that's now going to go towards their kit with PC.
Oh, yay.
So we'll see if they'll be signing this week. I had one sign this month already who's going to do cooking club. She lives out in Lady Lake. No, like an hour and 15 minutes from here. And 2 of them have been driving out for my cooking club every month. And when I went and had a party with her a couple weeks, last month actually, I sparked the interest in the room, and half the people in the room were like, wow, we want to do cooking club. And so I said, you should just do it here in town and not have to travel, get all these people to travel an hour and 15 minutes. And she last week said, all right, I'm going to listen, I'm going to do it. So she signed up.
Very good.
Yeah. Then I had another one who I thought was going to sign up a couple weeks ago because she needs the money. She wants to do it, but we talked yesterday and she said, I just can't timing for right now, not right now. She goes, but I want to do it. I just can't do it at this moment. And I said, okay, well, I'm ready for you whenever you are. So, and she goes, okay, I want to do it. I just don't know when yet. I'm like, okay. So, most conversations I've had about recruiting in a while.
Well, very good. In between the naps and all that, you're cranking it.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard and frustrating, but where there's a will, there's a way. And you make that.
I fit it in wherever I can.
That's right. So how about your show schedules, guys? See anybody have your 8 shows set up for October and November?
Okay, so I'm going to talk again, and I'll stop. So my schedule was really crappy at the beginning of the month. I think I had 4 live, like 2 catalog online, and I've really been, whenever I have a moment, sending Facebook messages and text messages. And I was counting them out. I have 8 online going right now, this exact week, and
Fantastic.
Then 2 live. So I lost 2 live, but I added in my online. So my numbers should still be where they should be this month.
Very good. So you see, guys, all I got to do is keep working on it.
Every day.
In there, you add 1. You know, and someone made a comment once too that when you think of trying to add 6 in one day is hard, well, add 1 a day for 6 days, and then that's easier. You know, you can celebrate when you hit that one, say, you know what, I've done my work for the day, I'll just move on, and then tomorrow I'll book another one. And that always makes you feel a little bit better and take some pressure off yourself, because I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves if we don't do what someone else is doing or what we think we want, maybe not necessarily what we're capable of, but what we want. So.
Yep. And you know what, one of the trainings we've done where it said, text message like one a day or whatever it may be. Well, today Luke was not having, and I couldn't see my computer because he just wasn't letting me do it. And it was so frustrating because so much to do. But I couldn't do what I had planned. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? So I just had my phone as I followed him around the house and played with him. And I probably sent like 20 text messages out. I went through all my old text messages. Who do I need to like send a reminder to? Like that kind of thing. Just relationship building stuff too. And some people I hadn't talked to in a while, like how are you? That kind of thing. So even though I didn't get what I needed to get done, I still made contact.
Perfect.
I didn't give up because I really wanted to. I wanted to be like, oh.
I know. And that's some of the stuff that Nancy Jo talked about when we did that storm meeting. Just flat out conversation, just relationship building. Don't make every phone call about booking a party or joining my team. Yep. It should be about building relationships and sending recipes and just checking in and, gosh, didn't I remember you had small kids? How are yours sleeping? You have any tips for me? Mine's not napping anymore. What's working for you? Stuff like that. When we can relate personally, it adds, something to us that we're not just another sales business person out there that everybody else is doing,
Sorry.
Cool. Now, how are you tracking your contacts? It looked like you had a little notebook there, Miss Christie.
Yes. So this is my monthly. Once I get them booked, they get on my calendar, and then my catalog and online are to the side. And I check them off. Like, did I create the Facebook event? Did I contact them? They have check marks next to them, so I know where I'm at in the process.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
But I have a little folder that goes around with me that I keep track of, like my phone calls and my text messages. I don't use it every day. Like I didn't track today, but I can go on my text messages and look at who I contacted today. But
how is that organized? Is that organized just like in order, or are they separated like half the book is booking, half the book is recruiting? How is it organized?
No, it's one of those trainings that we did where it said 10 old and 5 new people you want to contact every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I have it, like old section at the top, and I've listed out 1 through 10, and then 1 through 5 down here for new. Okay. And then I put them there as I'm reaching out.
Okay. And then as you add new, you just make a new page?
Yep. And then, so the next page is my next day. Okay. Yep. I label them by the date.
Excellent. It doesn't matter what your system is, as long as you guys find a system that works for you. That's what works for her. I have a little spiral bound as well. And then I do the same thing as her in my calendar. I have written on the side the same thing. Those are my online and virtual ones each month that I write in there. And I do the same kind of thing with check marks and whatnot, because it's what works for me. Got to be attached to my hip, otherwise it'll get lost.
I gotta tell you, I haven't had this many online catalog parties in probably a year. My head is like exploding. I don't know how all these fabulous people do this regularly.
I know.
But I'm doing it because I need to get the sales in. But I give you props, Kayleen, Tammy, anybody else that does these regularly. Goodness gracious.
I know.
Yeah, but I've never done 8 at one time.
My head spinning.
Oh my. Okay, so let's keep moving. Who is consistently doing the 3-2-1? It sounds like Christy is doing her 3-2-1. Working on her contacts 2 shows a week. And you know what, and this isn't one of those where we sit in here to try to make you feel bad. It's just a little poke and a little reminder, like Facebook allows pokes. This is just a little poke and a reminder to try to keep this in line. Does that mean that we're going to condemn you if you don't do it? No, but it's our job to try to just poke you and remind you that that will create success. We only have ourselves to blame if we're not creating the success we don't even have. So, got to keep working on it. So, as far as our homework went from Top Recruiters Tell It All, anybody learn something from listening to that? Anybody able to listen to it?
A lot about like the ticket game and stuff during parties.
Okay. You like that? Is that what you said, Tam? Did you like that?
No, that was the majority of the call was about tickets.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I hate tickets.
You hate tickets?
I hate
I
tickets.
think we talked about that last time. I seem to recall hearing you say that.
I hate tickets.
I don't mind them. I think they're quick and simple. Once I have a role, it's always with me. It's quick and simple, and people understand the whole ticket system. It's just a matter of whatever gets you all talking. Tonight, we're going to talk about the online recruiting cards, which is something that we've talked about in the past at different trainings, but I can't say that I've really ever put them into action. So I thought it was kind of neat to go through these and then to be able to share them with people. And I even thought that it might be something that would work on, we've all done virtual opportunity events. I thought, you know what, we've been looking for other people's virtual opportunity, pictures and ideas and things like that. We could even just go through that, on a virtual event, which we'll go through that here in a second. But anyway, there's always something to be learned, and there's other recruiting videos and training out there. So just keep looking at it. So as we remember, it's a 3-step process. And as we talked about, the first 2 steps in sharing the opportunity are informing and inviting. And tonight, we're going to talk about the opportunity chat, which is sometimes called a recruiting interview. Just interview sounds a little scary and formal, and so we like to just call it a chat. Okay? So what we're going to do is call this, what is our opportunity chat? After you've informed them and invited them to learn more, it's simply getting together to talk about it, see what kind of questions they have, see if it seems like a good fit for them. And then hopefully we'll get them to sign up, because our hosts are our best possible leads since they're already in love with our products and know a lot about how our parties work. So be sure to invite every host to get more information. It's a good idea to have a Life Tastes Great brochure in your host packets, as well as a kit credit coupon, which are available on the website. And I think we've talked about these in the host coaching section. So try to schedule an opportunity chat, whether live, by phone, or by text or private message before the show is held. And if you can deliver your host packets, it's a good time to talk about the opportunity then, because you can get a little vibe from her. You can get a little body language going on. Ask if the host has ever thought about doing something like Pampered Chef, and you never know, they might just say yes. And then just say, wow, that's great. So what would you think about signing up before the show, and that show could be your launch party, And if they say no, plant that seed and tell them that the show can still be their first party, and that's a chance to double dip and make money and get the free product. This will get the host off to a great start, and bookings will go to the new consultant too, and we've talked about this kind of thing before. But you'll also get the perks from having a new member, and you have the skills to find another show. They will not have that skill that we have right now. So if the host is unsure and doesn't have the money to get the kit, remind them that they can use $25 or $50 to apply towards a kit. You guys are pros, you all know that, but it never hurts to remind them of that, because we know it. They may automatically think that other people know it, but they may not know it, okay? So it's good to remind them of that. And then the show is your show, but the host will get the host benefits, bookings, and kit credit from part of the free host dollars. So if your host still isn't sure, you can follow up with the show and also before closing to see if they want to use some of the host benefits towards the kit. And as I was talking at our team training on Monday night, sometimes it takes 8 years of 2 shows a year or 1 show a year of someone doing parties before they decide, okay, I get it. And something Christina and I were talking about is if you track a show, like she tracked a show with one of her hosts and said, you know what, thank you so much. I have made $6,000 this year off of your friends. Did you know that? And that host was like, are you freaking kidding me? And she signed up. She's like, okay. Before you make any more, I'll take the money from here on out. So that may even help. It's something that you might want to try to do. All right. So for your guests at your shows, be sure to invite all guests at the full service checkout. Something they're calling it checkout chat now. You might want to suggest that you get together for coffee or soda or breakfast, or just offer to call or text. That always works for a lot of people, especially depending on what their lifestyle is. If they have small kids or if they're working full-time, it might be better to just try to kind of get a chat. I find Facebook messaging works really well for a lot of my people, because if they're working a day job, they're on a computer screen and they can quickly shoot out a Facebook message. So whatever works. It depends on your schedule. So if you meet in person, it's very effective because it's harder to tell someone no face-to-face. But also, again, you can develop that relationship a little bit stronger. They will see you, and you can see their responses. So do it before they talk themselves out of it. And if you're giving out a recruiting packet or handing them info, be sure not to give too much information. There's no substitute for you being able to answer the questions. Okay. A lot of people are always worried about, I know I was always that way too, like, what do I put in the packet? Like that was going to make or break the whole thing. That's not going to make or break the deal. Honestly, it's not. That Life Tastes Great brochure that we show down here at the bottom, that's one of the best things that you can give. And nothing recruits better than our catalog, honestly. That's what they need to do. They're going to fall in love with the products. The rest of it's just going to fall into place, okay? So some consultants give a Q&A sheet of frequently asked questions for leads outside the show. You'll pretty much do the same thing. Set up a time to meet soon. You might say something like, I'd love to get together with you tomorrow for a cup of coffee or soda and see what questions you have and see if membership looks like a good fit for you. Would 2 o'clock work? You know, again, depending on their lifestyle. So virtual parties are handled much like cooking shows. Talk with your host before the show begins. If you can, do a full service checkout with guests before the show closes, like a quick phone call or at least a private message or text to confirm the order and shipping address. And to see if they want to add anything and add, you know, did you have fun at the party? Oh my gosh, that's so good. I did too. I just had such a fun job. Is this anything you've ever thought about doing? And follow with the same conversation that you've had with live show hosts. You might also invite potential consultants to attend a virtual opportunity event. Check with your director to see if there's one coming up soon. Virtual consultant leads often like to do most things virtually, so if that works well, to give them more info and then follow with a private message or text immediately after the event, okay? So there's some digital, have you guys seen those digital interview cards, Tammy and Kayleen? No? Okay. Here's how you can find them. This is what the first page is going to look like, is this little Life Tastes Great thing. But if you go to Selling and Recruiting and then go to How to Recruit, click on the Check It Out, red Check It Out link, and then you'll see resources on the right over here and go down to Introduce Resources, and it's down at the bottom. Digital Interview, Android How-Tos, Digital Interview, Apple How-Tos, and then the digital interview PowerPoint. Okay. Here, this is the intro slide. You'll first want to thank your potential recruit for meeting with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, Christy. I'm glad you're here. You know, my goodness, you're just, for having, you know, a little one that keeps you up at night, you're absolutely adorable. So you've got something going on well for you. I had a great time at Kayleen's party where I met you. And what did you like most about the party? You know, anything else? You know, and get better acquainted. So, you know, that's just a little bit of opportunity to bring that moment back, bring them back to the moment that you met them and back to the moment where they decided, yes, they wanted a little bit more information. Okay. I'm excited to share a wonderful business opportunity with you. So tell me, Christy, why did you decide to meet with me today?
Free coffee.
Oh, come on. It's my cute new hairdo. I know that's what it is.
No, I find it interesting. You mentioned a few numbers and how much you could make, and I didn't think it was really I didn't think you could make money. So I'm just curious.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I've got some fun little cards that will help guide me along the way and keep me on track so I don't spend too much of your time going over these things. Sometimes, you know, people can get a little too chatty, and I want to stay on track and respect your time and my time because you do have kids to get back to. So I'm going to be using some little cards. Okay. First of all, I'd like to get to know you even better. So this one here, tell me a little bit about your family. I'm curious, how would your family feel if you decided to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm interviewing you. These are some ideas, okay? Your family, your occupation. You know, you can say, and this, I would say to pick what you think is going to be working better for you and that connection that you might be able to have. Or you could say, which about these things would you like to tell me about? You know, I personally would pick one, you know, because it might have everything to do with how she was at the time you met her. You know what I mean? If you met her at her job, if you met her and they were talking about her job, or you don't know anything about her job, or you know she works but you don't know anything else about it. Tell me a little bit about your occupation. This might help you know which direction to guide her down and what questions to answer. Okay. I like the one about your dreams. You know, people don't dream enough. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want this business to do for you and your family? That kind of thing. And then once you've talked about those things, you could actually talk about all 4 of those. You can say, okay, would you like to know more or just how to get started? My girl Julie that joins us most of the time on here has a show she just closed, and the host is wanting to join up, and she was texting me while I was out of town this past weekend and says, oh my goodness, she said she's interested. What should I do? I said, well, the first question I would ask her is, ask her if she needs to know more or if she's just ready to get started. That's one of the first places you want to start, because you don't want to tell them too much. They may have already decided they're ready, okay? And they might just need to know how to get started. So this is how you want to know that, okay? Because if they're ready to get started, we're just ready to go. But if not, you say, okay, which of these things interests you? All right? And then depending on what they say, we can just go down that rabbit hole, okay? If they want to talk about money, then we can go with money, I think. Yeah, you can just pick on these, and they'll give you some leading questions. You know what I mean? What are these? Fun. Well, perhaps this lady needs a little bit more fun in her life. Maybe she has a very stressful life. Maybe she has no fun. Maybe she's a controlling family. Whatever, you know what I mean? Maybe the job she's in now gives her no support. She might be with another direct sale company that she gets no support from, you know? Or that isn't much fun. Or that isn't making her any money. Or isn't very easy, you know? So ask them what interests them, okay? And just say, these are the main reasons that people decide to start a pampered chef business. So let's start with what's most important to you, you know, and then just move from there. And then here, you can say what stands out to you on this card. All right, Tammy, what stands out to you on this card?
Minimal investment.
Well, you know what? You picked a great month to say that, because we have, typically each month we have some sort of a signing bonus. And that's just an extra little perk for our people who start. Sometimes it's a particular product for free. Sometimes it's extra free product. Sometimes, like our most popular one is what we've got going on this month, and that's an actual 50% kit rebate. So yes, you'll have an initial investment. You will get 50% of that back when you sell $1,250 in your first month, which most people do. Pretty darn exciting, huh? So there's not many companies out there, many businesses that you can start for, you know, anywhere from $109 up to $249. So actually, you could end up starting for $54.50. That's pretty amazing. I don't know anybody that can do that, right? Okay, so you just want to touch on those things and move forward. So where to next, you know, you can pick another one of these. And if you're digital online, you can just click that little get started little arrow down there, and it'll move forward for you, okay? So same thing like this. Which one of these would be most fun for you? You know, free products, recognition, and awards. Because there may be people who, like me, I started for all the products. I wasn't thinking about the rest of it. Because I'd never had a job where I got recognition and awards. And I'd never gotten free vacations. I had friendships, and I never had one, but I was really kind of all about the products. I really was enamored with what these products were. So it may depend on what these people are, but they may be like, oh my gosh, you mean someone's actually going to give me an award for doing what I'm supposed to do? So again, ask which of these would be most fun, and guide them down down those paths, okay? Earning potential, you know, is endless. It's always good to show them, because everybody's always about the money. And this is a good one for them to take home so that they can show their husbands, because their husbands are all about the money, right? It represents the estimates based on average monthly income and time invested. So this was based on 2015 numbers. So you can say that, you know, it's actually even gone a little bit higher, but it's a nice minimum to talk about. Okay, so they can see a little bit of average monthly income and the hours per week invested. So average monthly income of 110 to 510, yeah. So that's obviously 1 to 5 parties, 1 to 4 or 5 parties. Okay, so hours per week. I think you're going to look at more than 1 hour per week if you're doing 1 party a week. I like to think there's 4, because that's the actual party itself as well. So. But some people want to contribute to the household income, have a specific goal, you know, financial goal, all that kind of stuff. So you always want to show them where the money is. And then again, where to next? So if you haven't noticed, they're going through all these. We've gone through easy, fun, money. Now we're on freedom and flexibility. Planning a business around your life. I think for us 4 here, especially, all of these things apply, I'm pretty sure. And so there are a lot of other people in the same position. We'll be back down to support next. What kind of support is most important to you? This is kind of fun to ask too, so that you can see what kind of training and what kind of commitment level you're looking at from them as far as training goes. Would they be interested in national and regional training? You know, online training center, local team meetings. I would love to have more people at local team meetings, but lately that's just not happening. So my take on it is then the personal phone calls to them, with working with them with online, and then just some good coaching calls. It's a good thing to do. So, and then we'll go back to why PC. These are some of the top reasons why Pampered Chef, people love Pampered Chef, because everyone does. I just love the fact when people say, you know, so what do you do? You know, and I tell them that I'm with Pampered Chef, they're like, oh, I love Pampered Chef, right? I never get that, oh, that's nice. You know what I mean? No one ever says it that way, because they love what we have. And I love showing that we're always relevant, that we're just as relevant now as we were 37 years ago, you know? So some of these things, and again, you could always add in your own personal one, right? So there we go. It's easy to get started. You're back here onto this one here. You know, talking about getting her to your next show. If you have an online show going, then invite her to the online party so she can see how it goes. Or, because if they're local, then get them to a local party. If it's not yours, then contact your director and find out if she can get to one with your director. But Kayleen and Tammy, I'm pretty sure you guys are mostly virtual, so you might want to connect them with virtually. You know, or I even say, I ask them if they're interested in doing virtual, if they're interested in live, then just go to a live one, have them schedule a live one and go to it with them, you know, if they're local. You know, obviously if they're in another state, that's not real possible. You'd have to make some real connections to get them there, but connect them to some coaching with you and to your next team training. And most of us have team trainings once or twice a month. Connect them to that, and then just start talking to them. You know, treat them the way you would want to be treated as a new person. Okay, and then just get them ordering their kit. And here's how you can do that too. You can just click on this link. This is actually part of it, what it's going to look like. And then it shows you which 3. When you click on that link, it's going to show you which 3, so they get to pick which one of these. So, and then we'll go in detail with each one. Of course, you know, majority of the people. It says 51% of new consultants choose the Ultimate Kit. And I would agree with that. I think the majority of them do. I mean, you can always say it's a great deal. It includes apron, 2 bags, paperwork, and 3 months of free personal website. That's pretty, you know, encouraging, right? And then you can just welcome them to the team. I'd like to give you this presentation so that you can share the business with others. They can download the PowerPoint app on their device, then show them how to log in and download the digital interview cards. You can also guide them to PC University so they can check it out. And be sure to start their training right away. I love the new training. Have you guys taken a look at that yet? And we're going to go into more detail. Next call is going to be on New Consultant Strong Start. But it's really, I highly encourage you, if you haven't like printed it all out and made the binder, I highly recommend you do that. It's just so detailed. Yay, see there? You all ready? See, so you just mark that girl you were whining about off your list. You just go find you some new ones, chickie. And just say, hey, I've got a new training program. I would love to take you through it. Would you be my guinea pig and go through this with me? And you know what? You'll get all these products at the same time, plus you'll earn a little bit of Christmas money. And we'll both learn something. What do you think? Yeah, and that's where you say, yes, ma'am, I'm on it. I got this, right? Okay, so check out the Leaders Course for Coaching New Consultants on PCU, and then let us know when you have a new consultant. We'll get you going, right? So what if the answer is, I need to think about it? We've all heard that one, right? You've got to clarify what's holding them back. It may just be nerves. You know, it just might be nerves. You never know what it is. I'd love that you need to think about it. That tells me you're serious about this decision. And do you mind if I ask what part of it you need to think about? I want to be sure I've answered all of your questions. And then after you answer their additional questions, ask if your potential recruiter is ready to get started. That's what I always do is, you know, say, okay, you know, so they give me their hold up, whether it's, you know, timing, whether it's money, whether it's transportation, you know, whatever, and say, okay, so now do you need a little bit more time, or now are you just ready to get started? And most of the time they're just ready to go ahead and get started. Like, oh, I'm nervous, but okay, You say, you know what, I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to do this together. Let's just go in, right? So follow the instructions above. If they still need more time, set up a date and time to reconnect with them. Sometimes it's just like my girl, Julie, who I was telling you, who the girl she was talking to over the weekend, she had a family emergency and had to fly out to Seattle tonight. So she's going to be back next week. So she's going to sign up next week when she gets back. But she closed out her party and used KIPP credits. So she's in. So sometimes that kind of thing happens. And you want them to get off to a good start. So that's sometimes acceptable. You know what I mean? As much as we kind of want them on our time frame, we want to make sure they get off to a great start. So here's some common objections, right? Because we all have them, right? I'm too busy. I don't have time. Busy people are the best people to do Pampered Chef. Just saying. Because they're more organized with their time and they know lots of people. That's the best part about it as well. Because if they're busy and they're connected, they have much better opportunities for more people to do parties, especially virtual parties. Okay. If it's their kids are too young or they have too many kids, maybe able to take one child as a helper. Ages 8 and over are best. People with kids have lots of business leads, right? I think that's something right there. And my thing with that too is that people with lots of kids or really young kids need mommy time. Am I right? They want to get out. They want to speak to someone on a different level and remember that they are an adult and an educated adult and an intelligent adult. So sometimes that's not exactly an excuse. That's more of a reason to get out. You know, they work a full-time job. Did you know that 92% of direct sales people in the U.S. also work a full-time job? Lots of contacts through your work, right? I don't know enough people. How many of those do you hear? And some people, they really are that because they're the ones that just do nothing but sit at home or they work behind a computer all day and they don't think they know enough people. So revisit their outside interests, you know, from the introduction. And it's not just about the people they know, but the people they know, you know, out-of-state people, which is a really nice thing now that virtual parties are there because in the old days that didn't really help much, but now it doesn't matter. They can be connected because they've got family somewhere, right? I couldn't stand in front of a crowd and talk. That was one of my things. Talk about station-style shows and how they're great for people who don't like to talk in front of crowds. Would you like to learn to get over that? That's a good question. And I guess that's why I kept going because I guess I wanted to get over that fear of talking in front of people. So you can do that too. PC will help give them confidence. It really does. I don't know how to cook. Well, this is a great way to learn to cook. Cooking skills are not required. And lots of great training on Pampered Chef website and chances to learn at recipe nights and team meetings. Okay. I don't have money for the kit. Chrissy gave a great example of, you know, what can you sell? Now that we have the holidays coming up, maybe they have a birthday coming up. It could be a birthday present for them that people, family members chip in money to buy her kit, you know, that kind of thing. My husband doesn't want me to do this. This is a tough one. I actually had a consultant like that. She was a hospitality consultant of mine that I got promoted to director, and her husband just didn't like her being out. He wanted her home with the kids, so she actually promoted to director, walked, and then quit because of her husband. So that's kind of a tough one. You know, most husbands have different questions from the ones we do. So, you know, maybe it could be that we talk to the husband. I had to do that with one of my girls. Actually, the husband came over and interviewed me for like an hour. Like I had to pull up, you know, 1099s and all that kind of stuff and just prove to him that she wasn't going to lose money. And actually my husband was there as well to talk about it because sometimes I just need a little bit more information, you know. So anyway, we can work through that. And what if the answer is not right now? Accept it graciously and keep the relationship going. Thanks for your time. I appreciate that it isn't for you right now. If that ever changes, I'd love to be the one you want to work with. Maybe stay in touch because you're certainly worth the wait. As you know, you can add them to your VIP page. They can book a party with you. Again, asking them to follow up because this is the truth right here when you look at this picture. You never know just how close they were to turning around. They might be ready, and you would hate to find them later on at a meeting and having signed up with someone else because you didn't continue to follow up. So you always want to ask them about following up. Okay? So I know I rambled on fast with all that kind of stuff, but I really think it's things that you guys know, things that you guys can keep up with and look up. There's so much training out there. If you have other questions, we can certainly answer that because we are the best team ever, right? So this week's call to action. Again, add to your list of 10 potential recruits. Keep writing in your little notebooks, on your palm of your hand, whatever it is, however you want to keep track, your bathroom mirror. Maybe you have a whiteboard, but just keep up with some people. And as you go through your day, I mean, you may be like Christy was talking about how she was scrolling, I got a phone here somewhere, how she was scrolling through her phone as she was running around with her kids. You know, if you're out at the park, if you're out at a pumpkin festival going on right now, if you are, you know, out somewhere, jot down some names, have a card, write notes down. I've been going to the notes section in my phone and taking notes so that I know who to keep up with if I don't have anything else on me at that point. So you may want to do that too. And continue to offer the opportunity to everyone at your checkout chats. Do your 24-hour follow-up call, right? Set 3 opportunity chats, all right? Let's be intentional about this. Set 3 opportunity chats, and let's post on our page about how we're doing with those things, how we're doing with setting up chats, setting up contacts that we meet out and about, right? Make 15 contacts a week outside of parties. Do your little power hour, carve out 15 minutes here and there. If you can only get 15 minutes, then take 15 minutes. If it takes 12 5-minute segments, you know, then do 12 5-minute segments to get to an hour, whatever it takes, okay? Observe a live or virtual opportunity chat. There's several of them online. And I think all of you guys went to conference, right? So I've been working tonight on that party experience, right? You all seen those? You know what I'm talking about? There was an email went out, and I thought it was sent to everybody who went to conference. Do you know what I'm talking about, Christy? No? It's called the...
I got the email, but I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I started looking at it tonight. It's all stuff we know. But I went through it to see if there was anything new, you know, that I can learn and just to be on top of it so that I could help my team members know what's out there. So that's kind of a cool thing. But just kind of
that thing with the different courses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. It's nice to know what's out there so that we can direct new people to it. We have so many resources. It can be a little overwhelming, but I like knowing what I can help direct new people to and some of my own team members too. So the call to listen to is Make It a Growing Team with Julie Aldridge and Susan Warshay. And this is how you find it. And I'll post this online when I'm done tonight. So keep your eye on the goal, ladies. Christmas is around the corner. I know we can all use extra money. I've never come across someone who couldn't use extra money, right? I don't know anybody that would turn extra money down. We can all do something. We deserve it, man. We work hard. We deserve to be able to spend $150 on our hair once every 3 months, right?
We work hard for the money.
And I'm going to bring home the bacon. Okay, that's an old one. Fried up in a pan. Okay, that was I think it was a perfume commercial when I was young. Anywho, that's my dealio. Thank y'all for putting up with me and just being so fun to work with. Joyous to see your faces.
Thank you for doing the call.
Yay! I know you guys are going to never work with me again. You're like, I can't wait to get through this program and get someone who's got her head. It always seems to fall when I've just had a really rough day. You know, I've had a rough, busy week. I found out yesterday I have yet another stress fracture.
Oh, no.
You know, no wonder my knee hurt so bad on Sunday at that triathlon. I started the run after the bike, and I thought, wow, that really is hard to do. And stabbing pain in my knee. Well, I went and had an MRI yesterday, and I found out I have another stress fracture. I tore my meniscus, tore my MCL. I'm a mess. So I was having a pity party pout on the couch, and I totally forgot everything else for the day. But, you know.
Well, thank you for making it happen tonight.
I'm honest, okay? I'm being very transparent. I wanted to lie and come up with a better excuse, but that was the God's honest truth.
I made my stir fry from the freezer meal workshop. It's really
good.
What did you make?
The sweet and spicy stir fry. That was part of the easy freezer meal workshop that I went over to Bobby Lynn's. She had one at her house, so I went over there to see how it's done and put it together. So,
isn't it comforting to know it's in the freezer?
Yes.
And
It
that's
was
a good
super
selling
easy.
point to others and say, yes, it's a lot to organize ahead of time and go do all your shopping, but we organize a shopping list for you. You come and you spend one day putting this together, and there's such peace of mind to know it's in the freezer. And for someone like you who broke down, that was 14 meals for you. That's practically a month's worth for you. That is tremendous. And that's a value out there to people. So
yesterday we did the pork chop and apple. That one wasn't my favorite. We didn't hear the timer go off, so it overcooked a little bit. So that could have been why. But because that one was 4 pork chops with it, and so I split it 2 and 2. I'm not sure how that's supposed to feed 6 to 8 people.
I know.
Made really small pork chops out of it. But the stir fry tonight, that one definitely we could have done 3 meals out of it. James was hungry, so he ate extra.
How'd your rice come out? What kind of rice did you use?
Easy. Huh?
You had pre-cooked your rice, didn't you?
The pre-cooked rice is on the wrap one, so it wasn't on this one.
Okay.
So this one you had to cook rice to go with the freezer meal. So while the rice was cooking is when I was heating up the chicken and the veggies, and it got done at the same time and super easy, less than 20 minutes. So
very cool.
And it was yummy. I like that pineapple rum sauce.
I know. That is popular. Very good. All right. Well, I think that is probably our time. Oh, I could stop my share, I guess. And let's see where we at in time here. I think we need to go anyway. Yeah, 8:47. So thank you, ladies. Y'all have a fabulous, blessed week, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, girls.
Bye.
Seeing your faces.
Yay, I know. I like it.
All right, bye.
Bye.